Have you ever felt like homemaking is just this never-ending cycle of dishes and laundry and to-do lists? It's like we clean one area and the next is already waiting, and it can feel overwhelming. Just like the more you do, the more there is to be done. You pour yourself into creating a cozy and an organized space for your family, but sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, it's never quite enough and it's never ever done. You're not alone if you felt this way. Many of us have been there. Homemaking is one of the most rewarding yet challenging roles that we take on. There's so much to it. It's about creating a safe and nurturing environment, a space where everyone feels loved and cared for, but it's also a role that comes with those countless, endless responsibilities, often without recognition, which is okay but can feel challenging sometimes. And it's often without rest. I mean, I'm in a newborn phase at the moment. I have 2 children, 2 toddlers, and I have a newborn who you may hear in the background. I'm on a 24/7 duty at the moment. I'm caring for the toddlers and caring for the newborn and the house. It can feel like a lot, and it's tiring. And it is a beautiful thing to nurture a home, but it's also normal for it to feel hard sometimes. Today we're going to talk about the struggles many of us face in homemaking and explore ways to make this journey, this life at home, a little easier and a little more joyful. For many of us, homemaking can really start to feel like a series of uphill battles, and there's the challenge of time management and finding the balance between taking care of the home and spending quality time with the family and squeezing in precious time with them, and somehow also squeezing in a moment for yourself. And it can feel like you're constantly on without any time to truly rest. And I kind of really feel that for myself at the moment, as I'm in the newborn phase and I don't have time to myself. I'm constantly on the clock, and it's a blessing, it's a gift, and I love it. But it does not take away from the fact that I am feeling it a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed sometimes. Then there's the pressure of keeping everything running smoothly and balancing your personal needs with family demands. It can be incredibly hard, and it's easy to start feeling burnt out and even resentful, which we do not want. We must surrender our resentment. When you give so much of yourself day after day without taking the time to refill your own cup and to focus on what really matters, we can get resentful. And let's not forget the weight of expectations sometimes that we really do place on ourselves. It feels like there's an unspoken standard of perfection in homemaking that's just impossible to reach, and sometimes it's the standard we place on ourselves, and sometimes it's the standard from social media and all the perfect homes out there. But it is a standard of perfection that is impossible to reach. So what can we do? Let's not keep complaining. What can we do? How can we lighten this load and make homemaking a little more manageable and even enjoyable? There are heart issues to address, of course, but I'm going to talk through some practical things here. So it'll be fun to dive into a few of these strategies that can help when overwhelming feels particularly tough and particularly hard. And these are tips that I found helpful, and so I really do hope that they'll offer you some relief as well. First of all, we're going to set realistic goals. It's tempting to aim for a spotless home, 3 home-cooked from scratch meals a day, and a perfect routine, but sometimes aiming for perfection, it just adds stress. Instead, we need to focus on what's really essential sometimes. Strip it right back. Write down 2 or 3 things you'd like to accomplish for the day. And if you can finish those, consider it a win. Let go of the pressure to do it all at once. Homemaking is more of a marathon than a sprint, and so small and steady efforts are absolutely more sustainable. One of the things I'm really trying to learn is to embrace imperfection. And homemaking can feel like a lot because we put so much pressure on ourselves to make everything perfect, like what I was saying. But the truth is, a home is meant to be lived in and not kept spotless. It reminds me of a verse that says, "When there are no oxen, the manger is empty, but from the strength of an ox come abundant harvests." When we have a house full of abundant harvests, we have our children, we have our family, we have things happening, good things going on. We have an abundant harvest. We have a messy home, we have craziness, we have chaos, and it's lovely. But when there are no oxen, the manger is empty. The manger is clean and tidy and perfect all of the time because the manger is empty. On hard days, I try to remind myself that it's okay if everything isn't picture perfect. Instead of focusing on having the whole house clean, I focus on small areas that bring a sense of calm, like just some flowers on the table, a tidy sofa with some nice throw cushions. Little things like this help me let go of that need for total control of the whole house, because it's just not possible, and find beauty in the everyday mess. On those particularly hard days, I try to let go of my long to-do list and focus on what really matters. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things that need to be done, but the truth is not everything is essential. It's amusing to me sometimes what I deem as necessary and essential and is on my list as highest priority. And then I have some perspective, have a chat with my husband and realise that it's completely unnecessary and I focus so much of my time on it. But on those hard days, I do pick 2 or 3 things that are the most important and let the rest go. For me, the essentials are usually a simple, a home-cooked meal, a comfortable living space that's relatively tidy, and time with my family. And while my kids are so little, they need lots and lots of my time, and I want to do that well and do it in a very present and kind and joyful way. And so prioritising that is really, really important. So even if the rest of the house is untidy, I feel peace knowing that I've focused on what truly matters. When homemaking feels hard, I remind myself to take things one step at a time. Trying to tackle everything at once can be so overwhelming, and so instead I break things into smaller steps and focus on one thing at a time, like I'm doing this week. I'm spreading my tasks over a period of a week and trying to get through things slowly. And one thing that I do if I'm in a space that feels particularly overwhelming, and this is taken from the Tom method of cleaning, but it's I go in the room and I have a look and I start in one corner and I work my way around the room from that one corner, and that just takes care of those little details that I think are cluttering up the space and really getting in the way, making it feel untidy without knowing really what it is that's making it feel untidy. So going from corner to corner to corner to corner just gets rid of those things that are clogging up the space unnecessarily and makes it feel fresh and new and clean again. So that is one thing that I'll do if I'm feeling particularly overwhelmed in cleaning in a particular room. On hard days, I've found that taking a few minutes for self-care can make all the difference. I really like to try and get fully dressed for the day, take my vitamins. My vitamins have been a huge part of this postpartum period and making me feel well and whole and healing well. I put on my belly band for belly support, which has also been really useful. Taking moments of rest, drinking some hot tea and lying down when I feel like I need to. All of these moments of sort of self-care, sort of basic care really, isn't it? But can make all the difference. Homemaking is physically and emotionally demanding, as well as being a mum. You're constantly dealing out so much, and so it's okay to take breaks to recharge, especially if you have a 24/7 job. I don't know any jobs that are 24/7 where you don't get any breaks. So those few quiet moments to myself can really help to shift my mindset. Asking for help can be difficult, but sometimes it's exactly what we need to do. And on those hard days, I remind myself that I don't have to be the one doing everything alone. When I'm asking my husband to take over from dinner or inviting the kids to help with simple tasks, sharing the load can make homemaking feel more joyful, more attainable, and something that you can persist in the long run, rather than burning out so fast. Homemaking is a team effort, and asking for help isn't a sign of failure or weakness. It's a sign of self-care, really, and a way to build connection. When we work together, even those hardest days feel lighter. Gratitude helps me shift my focus from what's hard to what's beautiful, what's good, what has the Lord blessed us with. It's really important to still continue to be thankful. The Bible says that we need to be thankful in every circumstance and give thanks for all things. Every good and perfect gift comes from Him, and we have so much to be thankful for. And so I encourage you to look around, to find things. My husband and I were very, very tired one evening, and he said, let's just list a bunch of things that we're thankful for. And it really lifted our spirits, made us feel just refreshed, and we were able to thank the Lord even though we were just feeling completely zonked, unable to do anything else, and struggling to get our attitude in the right place. So gratitude is one area that I absolutely encourage. I'll share a personal story with you, one that changed the way that I see homemaking. There was a time when I felt completely overwhelmed, like I was drowning in responsibilities, kids crying everywhere. I was exhausted, and the joy I once felt in creating a home had disappeared. One day, in the midst of cleaning up yet another mess, I just stopped. I sat down on the kitchen floor, I cried a little bit, looked around and realised I was doing all of this out of love. Not for a perfect house or to meet anyone's expectations, but out of love for my family and the life we were building together. And it was at that moment that I gave myself permission to let go of perfection and to focus on what really mattered, the memories we were creating, the love in our home, keeping Jesus at the center of our home, even in the middle of the mess. This shift changed everything, and I learned to find joy in the process rather than just the results, and to accept that homemaking would have hard days, but that didn't mean that I was failing. So when homemaking gets tough, remember to be kind to yourself. Set realistic goals and prioritize what matters to you. Involve your family and make time for self-care and looking after yourself. And don't be afraid to reach out for support and for help. Homemaking is an ongoing journey, and it's okay if it doesn't look perfect. What matters most is the love and the care you pour into your home, even on the hardest days. Thank you for watching and for joining me on this journey. I'd love to hear about your own experiences with homemaking and what challenges have you faced and what strategies have helped you. It's really important to work on our strategies and keep them at our forefront so that we know how to cope when things get difficult. If you're looking for ways to change your life as a stay-at-home mum, then check out this video here where I share all my tips and tricks on how I changed my life at home. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you. I love you guys, and I look forward to spending more time with you soon.